Deflating your tires. So many ways, but which one should you choose? Let's find out. Hey everyone, Henk here from Four Wheeling SA, and today we're going to look at 4 different ways on how to deflate your tires, the equipment that you can use, and at the end I will be giving some tips on how to inflate your tires again. The first gauge, or the first method, is basically just using a normal pressure gauge and then a stick that you use to deflate it. That's the most common way. So if you have a pressure gauge and a stick, well, there you go. That's the easiest way to do it. Method number 2 is very similar, where you use your pressure gauge, but you use a tool to remove the valve of your of the tire. And what I found is, and you'll see it in the video as well, is it's a bit difficult. You take out the valve and there's a risk that you can drop the valve and it goes very quickly. So I've actually deflated it too much. I went down to 1.3, so maybe I'm doing it wrong, but that's not really a method I would recommend. Method number 3 is similar to the method where you remove the valve, but it's a bit more controlled. You've got a bit of a tool that you use to take out the valve, and the tool keeps the valve inside, and then you just pull up the pin and then you deflate your tires. It's a good tool. The only thing is, if you have to do it on 4 tires, screwing, unscrewing, your fingers sort of get tired of it. So good option, but not my preferred option. Method number 4 is a very nice method, and the tool is very nice. They call it the indeflate tool. And what's nice is you can do 2 tires at a time. I've done 1 tire now, just to get the comparison in the times that you've seen, to see how long it takes. But what's nice is with this tool you can do 2 tires at a time, so it's actually a bit shorter because of the fact that you do 2 tires. And what's nice is that it's just a clip-on, so nothing to remove valves or anything like that. So for me, that's my preferred method. So what I've done now, I've inflated the tires back up to I've actually made it a bit harder, to 2.5 bar, and I'm going to use the indeflate now to deflate 2 tires at the same time, which is one of the biggest advantages of this system. Okay, so just in summary, if I look at all these methods, they all have their pros and cons. obviously the stick and a gauge is the easiest. You always will find a stick, and as long as you've got a gauge with you, well, there you go. It's very compact, so if you don't deflate tires much, well, maybe just use that method. Then the other two methods, the valve tool is, for me, you can lose a valve. You don't want to do that in sand. The other one, it's a bit better, but yeah, for me it's not really for me. It is an option. Then my preferred option is the indeflate system. You get it in a system where you can do 4 tires at the same time as well. I just think then you're gonna have a lot of hoses and it's a bit more expensive, so I prefer the 2 hose system. The only thing about it is it's not compact, so it comes in a bag like this, so you need a bit of space for it, but the advantage of it far outweighs the cons for me. Okay, for inflating, what I usually do is I take my compressor and then I connect it to the battery of the vehicle. The compressor I'm using is 160 liter per minute. I think that's sort of that's the minimum I would start with if I have to purchase a compressor. I know there are smaller ones that can get the job done, but it just, in terms of the time and compressors overheating, if you have to inflate a couple of tires, that's the one I would recommend. While I'm inflating tires, keep in mind when you use the indeflate, you see the reading on the gauge. So while it's inflating, it's slightly higher, so when you disconnect those, you will see there's a slight drop. So usually just inflate it a bit over what you want it. So if you want to go to 2.5, inflate it to 2.7, and then you can always deflate it back to 2.5 or wherever you want it to be. And that's it for the review on the tire deflators and ways to deflate your tires and how to inflate them. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe as well, and remember to click the bell for instant notifications. See you on the next one.